sharing the slideshow. Let me go ahead and share my screen. And I'm going to go back to the beginning. Really, really fast recording. Okay. Welcome to Data+Women New England for our very first session. I appreciate you all attending. So today we're going to say welcome and do a little bit about us. And we're going to get the conversation started with some panel questions. And then we'll have an interactive quiz. It's fun, I swear, where we'll have some Tableau swag to give away. So if you could put yourself on mute for those of you that are not speaking, and we'll go ahead and get started. So what is Data+ Women New England? So our chapter purpose is to kind of have a community and a meetup group for women who work in, with, and around data. Even though it says women, we're really welcome to everybody joining. Our aim is to promote and celebrate the achievements and success and the stories that we have to tell around time and experiences in the industry. And the whole history of Data+ Women, it started with a conversation with some Tableau community members. And it's grown to several chapters across the globe, including this one. I watched a session on YouTube, which is out there, and I wanted to get started. So I submitted my, hey, can I be a lead for Data+ Women New England? And I was approved. And then I put it out there, and then I have all of the following users that are willing to help me be leads and advisories for this initiative. So I'm going to introduce the people, the ladies behind this. So go ahead, Karishma. I'll hand it over to you.
Hello, everybody. Nice to see you all here today. I'm Karishma Darla, and I'm originally from India. And currently, I'm here in Greater Boston. That's why I'm a part of New England Tableau user group. And I work as a financial data analyst at University of Massachusetts Lowell. And also, I used to work as a business operations manager earlier. And when COVID hit, Mr. John Hopkins was drastically trending with his COVID-19 cases data, and that's how I got introduced to data, and that's how I am here today. I started following him, learning more about him, and then now I'm currently also doing my master's in business analytics and a co-lead of Data+ Women. I move forward to Dawn.
So I'm Dawn Harrington. I have my own blog, techtipsgirl.com. I also have my own YouTube channel where I'm starting with Tableau Tech Tips. I've been using Tableau since 2019. And when I first started, I just loved the tool. I have 2 degrees. I have one in art education. So I started out wanting to be an art teacher. And then I went back for a 2nd degree in computer science. And of all the BI tools that I learned with Cognos, Cognos, Business Objects, a couple of others, I really thought Tableau could marry both of those degrees together with, not only the data, but the visual side. So when I started, I thought the community just sounded really, really cool. I kind of felt like I was a little late to the game. There's so many educated people out there that I was kind of a little intimidated by the tool. But anybody can learn the tool. Don't be intimidated by the tool is the advice that I would give others. So I'm going to turn it over to Sakshi. You want to go ahead and introduce yourself?
Thank you, Dawn. I'm Sakshi. I'm from India as well. I moved to the United States last year to join grad school. I'm currently pursuing my master's in industrial and organizational psychology at the University of New Haven in Connecticut. My concentration is in people analytics, which is what led me to get introduced to Tableau and other softwares for data analytics. I'm really, really passionate about empowering women. And I was an educator before I came here. I'm really excited to be here, and thank you all for coming today. I'm going to pass it on to Krishma.
Hello, everybody. I have been with Tableau for almost like 3, 4 years now. From 2020, I was introduced to Tableau with our coursework at Stevens. I was graduated in information systems and business intelligence and analytics at New Jersey. I live in New Jersey, and I have been with data all the time. I love data visualization and analytics a lot. I'm currently working as a data product manager and data journalist at ADP. Journalism was something that was introduced to me with my job. I never thought that was a job, and I love it. I've also been like a Tableau public author in 2021, and now a co-lead for Data+Women as well. And I'm very much obsessed with K food and K drama, as you can see on the slide there. Uh, Obviously, I'm vegetarian, but yeah, I do love it, and I try to create all those recipes and try cooking a lot as well. And I love sketching, doodling, traveling, and my newfound love would be anime because I'm trying to get into those Ghibli movies. So happy to meet you all and get our Data+Women New England chapter started. So I move back to Dorn, and you can introduce the other people.
That's great. I'm also an anime fan. I've actually dragged my husband to several anime conventions, so we can talk about that later. I've also made costumes, so that's another little fun fact.
Oh.
You guys had no idea. So time to meet our advisory board. I'm going to turn it over to Ria.
Hello, everyone. Nice seeing you. I'm Ria Mehta. I'm doing my master's in business analytics, graduating this May. Along with it, I'm a business associate intern at UMass President's Office. I got an opportunity to be a member of Tableau Advisory Board with Data+Women New England group. It's a great platform to showcase your Tableau skills and love for data. To be honest, coming to my prior experience, I have been a product manager at before my masters for sure, but getting into data taught me a lot how it can help make a precise decision. And I'm too much into art as well. I love doing art and to be creative on the other side. So I found Tableau a very user friendly software where anybody can get hands on and start with a very basic data as well. I have a lot of options to showcase your business acumen skills. Along with it, I'm also a founder of my art page, and I'm a freelancer artist as well. It says Art Speaks. Feel free to connect there as well. And I customize art in all the forms. And along with it, I was also a fashion designer back 10 years back. I have been co-founded it with my mother-in-law. She has been in data designing since long, and uh, along with that, I think I can make a significant contribution in world of data using my creativity and business acumen skill. I hand over to Madhuri.
Thank you, Ria. It's already great to see so many good introductions from diverse backgrounds from the wonderful women that we have here on the panel today. So I'm Madhuri Vadlamani. I'm a senior solutions analytic associate working for JP Morgan Chase. I've been in this firm for about 3 years. Prior to that, I worked for Sallie Mae, which is an educational loan industry, for about 1.5 years. That's where I got introduced to Tableau. And as Dawn said, I was definitely intimidated looking at the tool with the colorful charts and visualizations. That was kind of like my origination point of learning Tableau and dwelling deep into the tool and seek community support. And that led me to the place where I'm today. Um, Apart from that, I wore multiple hats. I'm originally from India. Moved to US in 2016. I wore multiple hats in India. I'm a biochemistry, chemistry, microbiology undergraduate. Then worked for healthcare and compliance industries, and I was a drama teacher at some point. That was only for like 3 or 4 months. And then we moved to US. Then pursued my master's degree from Wilmington University in information systems technology, and I'm here in the data field today. Uh, Yes, apart from that, my personal interests are like I like camping, hiking, so mostly outdoor activities. And I'm a Toastmaster. That's where I kind of gained my storytelling skills, which ties back up to the tool that I'm using today. Yeah, having said that, I'll pass it on to Preeti.
Hello, everyone. Preeti Lodha here. I'm so glad that Dawn took the initiative because I was that person, right? Oh, Data Plus Women events. I used to love going to it. I wished we had a chapter of our own, but did I do anything about it? No, I did not. So thank you, Dawn, for taking the initiative and making this happen. I'm so excited to be in this space. As you see up on your screen, it says a lot of stuff about me. But what I want to tell you is I came to America as an international student, and I transitioned from that perspective. And I started my journey as a tester, the person who tests the application and goes through the processes of it. And I grew from there. So I lived the entire product life cycle. I experienced each and every one. So I have an idea of what people go through. And when I design something or build something, I keep all that experience in my mind. What I would like you to know about me is that I love to champion diversity and inclusion in various spaces. I'd like to welcome people who might have felt that they were unheard or unwelcomed in spaces, or they did not see themselves in the spaces. So we are hoping that we will create those opportunities and spaces for you so that you could feel yourself, you have a belonging in these spaces, right? Fun fact, I will be speaking at Tableau conference. The quick story behind it is last year I was at the Tableau Tips Battle at the conference. And when I was doing it, I was excited to be on stage because the nerd in me is like, oh, I get to give all these tips that I've learned over the years. But when I came down to the stage and I was standing in the long lines of the bathroom, one of the conference goers walked up to me and they said how excited they were to see me on the stage. It had nothing to do with the tips that I was giving, but it had more to do about seeing representation of oneself on the screen or in the space. And it sort of gave me an idea of that I do want to be a speaker at these conferences. I do want to share that, but I also want to provide you the space of showcasing what is possible and hopefully share with you all the things that I've learned over the years of how you could do it. So looking forward to all fun stuff. I am gonna give it over to Hudon.
So, Hillary.
There you go.
Thank you so much. I just want to echo everyone. I appreciate being able to be a part of this. My name is Hillary. I'm sitting as an advisory board member. I work for the Emerson Group. We do private equity and consumer products. But my background is actually, I had a 5-year career in nonprofits, and I dug my toes into data, doing HUD grants, and doing a lot of reporting in there and kind of figuring out the best ways to tell the stories of the impact that the nonprofits I was working for were having. So when I moved over to kind of the private sector, it was kind of an easily transferable skill. And they were rolling out a new Tableau initiative, and I raised my hand, and here we are about 6 years later, and I'm doing now kind of more strategy and management of that, of the programs that we're running. So I'm a little less in the tool day to day, which I think gives me an interesting perspective of the way that maybe non-technical people look at data, and all of the hard work that goes on behind the scenes as well. So excited to be here. In my spare time, I'm also an outdoorsy person. My parents were both mountaineers. They met climbing, rock climbing. So I've been kind of in the outdoors my whole life. So that's what I spend most of my time doing when I'm not in front of a screen. It's great to meet everyone. Very excited that everyone's here.
And then last but not least, Noelle.
Hi, everyone. I am Noelle Butler. I'm going to echo what everyone else has said. I am very, very, excited and feel honored to be a part of this group and cannot wait to network and meet everyone and virtually and continue these meetups. So I started working with Tableau over 10 years ago, which seems a little crazy to me. I don't know why. I started using it when I was in the healthcare industry. And so, similar to some members here, you know, the tool was thrown out to our company and they said, hey, can you guys start using this and see what you can do with it? And then from there, you know, my love of BI and analytics and using Tableau to help make actionable change in the company in healthcare was born. Since then, I've moved on. I'm currently at JP Morgan Chase and in analytics, more of a product ownership role, like leading a team to use the tool as well, to help develop some tools for our, you know, our product. So yeah, that's it. Thank you.
Great. Just wanted to introduce, you know, all of us here, you know, more interesting things to come. Now we want to turn it over to panel questions. And I had notes. Just one second. Over who is answering this question. Let me look at that really quickly. Okay, so our first panel question is, how did you navigate your career path in the data industry? And what advice do you have for women to look to advance in this field? And Preeti, how would you like to answer this question?
First step before I start speaking is to unmute myself, right? I'm glad I caught that before somebody had to tell me, unmute yourself. Thank you for the question, Noel. I think, how did I navigate in data industry? I came into the data industry as a data warehouse specialist. So I chose multiple paths, right? Those are the decisions that you make. I have master's in computer science, so I had already started the path of being in the data field. But having a data industry is such a wide space, having an understanding of what you enjoy and what you work with comes with once you are in the industry and you are interacting with the data. You will see up here that we all came from diverse backgrounds, but we eventually found data and we found the niche areas that we loved. So there is no one set path that you have to go down to come to arrive to this point. You can come from different avenues and still be part of this family if you love looking at data or if numbers and data stuff excites you. That was a very weird way of saying it, but yeah, data and visualizations do make me happy. The advice I have for women who are looking to advance in this field is I would consistently say is to advocate for yourself, because nobody knows what you are doing and what you have achieved better than you do. And having that voice and sharing those achievements and the skills that you have built will help you. Another thing that I would like you all to do is to let the world and your management know of your career aspirations. Again, it changes from workplace to workplace. Some workplaces have very good uh, growth setup in which they check on you, they train you, they move you along. But if you are in a workplace that does not have those opportunities, I would like you to take your career aspirations, be vocal about it, spend some time and think of what you want to do. Um, I think those are the couple of things I have for you. I love to hear what you all have done in the chat. Karishma has posted the question, but I want to pass it on to Noel.
Thank you, Preeti. So I wanted to touch more on the navigating career path. I think what's interesting, and if we had the time to talk, you know, about all of our career paths, you find just like where we came from and what led us to data. Doesn't always start with maybe like a degree in data science or data analytics or even business. I started, you know, when I was younger, I used to love doing like HTML coding and playing with computers and different things like that. And I didn't really know what I wanted to do. And data science and analytics was fairly new when I went to college. I knew I loved math, so I just kind of went with it, problem solving and things like that. And so I actually started out in accounting and entry level accounting at this healthcare company. And when I was there, I was given the opportunity to start doing some reporting on data that we had, and it was very manual. It was in Excel, but I loved doing it. I loved like taking disparate data, pulling it together, and making sense out of it for someone. And then from there, I started working in a data collection role related to accounting. And that's where we got Tableau. And I wasn't necessarily in an analytics role yet, but something just clicked. Anytime I worked with our technology team or looked at data or was trying to problem solve, it was just very natural for me. And so once I started using Tableau, that just changed things for me. And I really started going in that direction. But I was very lucky that the place that I worked for had the software and that I was introduced to it that way and that I was allowed to be like a tester. So I'm very grateful for that experience because I don't know where my path would have led me if I wasn't there and didn't start, maybe in accounting and didn't have those opportunities. So a lot of it really was just leaning in, telling my managers like, hey, I really like doing this, but I don't really want to do accounting anymore. I want to focus here because that really gave me my opportunity jumping into analytics, having that open conversation and showing them what I could do with this tool, or whether it's Tableau or any other type of like SQL data analytical tools. So I think a lot of that was also, like Preeti said, having that open conversation about you want to do, but also proving like what the added value is of it as well. And so that really helped shape me into the data industry. So I'm very thankful for that.
Thank you for your responses. Let's go to our next panel question. What strategies do you recommend for building a strong professional network within the data community? I'm going to turn it over to Krishma for this answer.
Oh, thank you, Dom, for that question. I cannot recommend enough that building a strong professional network in the data community is so useful. I would start with saying that I started with Tableau as a graduate student, but I tried to discover and get into the community while I saw people doing amazing work. And I was just astonished to see what people can build through, because what I just knew was it was a BI tool that can help you build graphics and you can do analysis through just like random or just like basic simple graph charts. But what people actually created in the community just blew my mind, and I kept questioning myself like, oh wow, I want to do this. And being a creative person myself, I love doodling, sketching, as I said in my intro. I love making those infographics and design things, choosing a color palette, trying to see what innovative way I can build to communicate a particular analytics. And what better than to just put my passion into my job and have a great deal out of it. And I started with Tableau community just like that. I built my Twitter account as well for the community when I got to know the data fam is out there, and they were so welcoming and generous. I tried doing those community projects as well, like makeover Mondays, workout Wednesdays. There are a lot of them that are just there in the data community. You can go over to Tableau, even they share it all the time. There are so many people in the community that share those and give you a voice. I remember when I started in 2020, they did something called as a Friday thing where they used to put a spotlight on each of the person, like a new person in the data fam, to have them welcome to the community on Twitter. And that really helped me build a lot of relationships there. So I would say keep talking to people, use your LinkedIn and Twitter. The data fam community is really warm and welcoming, and they would reply to all your queries and stuff, I would also recommend having a mentor in the community. That helps a lot. I have had a lot of advantages having a mentor, just like getting advices on my visits, or just trying to build something in my job, or where am I stuck with. I used to just chat with my mentor and I used to get my answers, or even to like grow in the community as well. So that was something that helped me a lot. So I would say those strategies. Also, just as an example, I have two major examples to be shown. I had got my job from LinkedIn through the Data Fam, because I used to share all my progress there. And that is how I landed into my dream job at ADP. And talking to my mentor helped me choose the best for me. Also, I would really give a huge shout out to Preeti here within our team that helped me get discounts to Tableau, and I could, for the first time this time, could go to the Tableau conference. I'm really looking forward to it. So thank you. And this is a huge example where you can like build a network and see what comes to you. So I would say it's a huge thing, and I'm really happy for Data Fam. So I would say take inspirations, keep talking to people, and you will find a good connection that will help you as well, will grow. So yeah, thank you, Don, for that question. I think I would pass to Karishma.
Hello, everybody. When you talk about strategies to build a strong professional network, I look at it into three different categories. One is building your network online. So when you talk about online, you can use LinkedIn. LinkedIn is one of the most powerful tool. Uh, One of the best example is I landed with all these beautiful ladies here. That is because of LinkedIn. You have the ability to look at others' work. You also have the ability to showcase your work on LinkedIn. Like Krishma mentioned, you can also use X. X is also X, formerly known as Twitter. You can use that also as a very powerful tool. The second thing that you can do is follow as many influencers as possible, if not influencer, even general people who are posting their dashboards, or maybe any data related work. For example, Don is doing a lot of blogs on how to use Tableau. Preeti has one of the amazing Tableau public portfolio. She's done a really great job. Everybody here is very good at something or the other. You can always follow them on Tableau community, ask questions on Tableau community, join our Tableau user group. And the second thing that I would talk about is doing a offline engagement where you can attend Tableau conferences, or not just Tableau, any part of data. If you're interested in Python, attend some conferences related to Python or Tableau, Power BI, anything. Just like Krishma mentioned, we also have a Tableau conference coming up in the end of April. So you can go there, you can talk, you can join local communities, so you can do that. And the third thing is building relationships. So when you talk about building relationship, it's not just connecting to people on LinkedIn, it's also about uh, talking to them, asking them, following up, seeking mentorship, which Krishma mentioned that you can always ask people, post your dashboards or post your work on LinkedIn, ask people how it is. No question is silly. All the questions are silly. So just don't think that my question will be silly or how can I ask it. Just go out, ask there. There will be somebody who will surely help you, and feel free to take help from people. And if you have somebody very clear in your mind, directly reach out to them, keep following up, understand how you can uh, take insights from them. I think these are the three strategies I followed, and I would also recommend you all to follow.
Thank you. So, for our next question, what advice do you have for women who may be struggling with imposter syndrome in the data field? So, what exactly is imposter syndrome? It's the psychological experience of feeling fake or phony despite any genuine success that you have received. So I'm going to turn this question over to Madhuri if you'd want to answer this.
Thank you, Dawn. Thanks for asking this because this is one of my favorite topics, and I still deal with imposter syndrome at some other time. I'll share my own story of how this has originated in me. So when I joined JPMC, my team had individuals with over at least like 5 to 20 years of experience range, and I was a toddler in the team. So that kind of created a lot of pressure within myself, and I started doubting my abilities and felt that I'm not competitive enough or like not good enough to be in this team. Uh, and I always had this constant feeling that I'm not fitting in. We all have an inner critic, which is sometimes valuable, but it has a potential to be detrimental, right? Recognizing this, what I did was I built muscle for practicing consistent and conscious efforts with a value creation mindset and accepting challenges and taking risks. How did I achieve this? So as like a lot of our peers have mentioned that finding mentors or like finding core group of people at work or even outside work, like the LinkedIn network or any other platform or avenue that you can network with people and have open conversations with them to feel safe being vulnerable. It's okay if you feel it that way because it's recognizing that you're not alone is the most important thing. And so at work, like I found a BRG, which is called Women on the Move, and I've attended some of their sessions where I've learned good concepts. One is like managing your inner critic with some of the practices. One is to focus on your own strengths. So my strength was the creative space and the designing space and storytelling. Like these were three key strengths, and communicated. So when you build something, presenting that is equally important. So I kind of identified my own strengths there, and running your own race. Uh, just I think it's important for you to compare with yourself than comparing you with others because end of the day we are running our own race. Everyone has different abilities, everyone has different skill sets. Did I better myself from like past 1 year? That's what matters to me. And most importantly, writing your own story. So when I started off in this team, I felt that I was incapable in this team, but today I've written my story that I'm a very valuable player within this team. So kind of shifting that focus from a negative to a positive approach, like things like if you think that you can't do something, now change your story to I can do this or I can figure out how to do this. So that kind of like helps you or motivates you. And yeah, that kind of pushes your abilities or pushes your thinking to a positive approach. Uh, Above all, as I said, recognizing that you're not alone, it affects many people irrespective of their experience and expertise. So I think like these are some recommendations that I would suggest for anyone who is going through a similar phase. And I will pass it on to you, Tom.
Ria, would you like to answer this question?
Sure, this is a great question. I mean, a lot of us being a human faced with imposter syndrome. Do you think it really exists? Like all of us, some or the other corner of our heart and mind, we feel like we are not enough. Somebody is better than us, for sure. It's like 9 billion people have different skills, they have different abilities, they have their specific skills, right? Not everybody can be good at all the world is running after. So coming to my story, I have been a business product manager. I have that business acumen skills. I have that strategy making skills. But when I got introduced to my masters and came into data world, I saw a lot of people around me with CS background, with a strong IT background, too much into data with AI. And I was so stumped seeing it like I'm not enough. I cannot do it. Even I was a self starter. I was not able to compete myself with what's present. Like the world is running after AI is like everywhere. It's chat gpt came up, students got easy access to assignments, it stopped them thinking like everybody is gonna get a best grade out of that. But to be honest, focus on what you really like. I mean, what makes you happy from within. It's not always a rabbit race you have to run after what everybody is doing. Just focus where you like. For me, it was always a creativity. I focus on a data set where I can play with creative backgrounds. I focus on an artist background, artist data set. I will say all the art forms, like different countries have different art form. I focused on such data set. I made my basic visualization. I know the first visualization is going to be so ugly. You won't think is it like that, but still have that sense of accomplishment that even you started doing it. That one step, just start doing what you really like. Take whatever concepts, whatever data set you like. If you like cooking, go for a cooking data set. You'll get ample of data set and options, like for the food items and everything. So just be your own cheerleader. It's okay to ask for help, but it's not okay if somebody just tell you you are not enough, the world is not at this level. It's like it has reached heights to AI. You should upskill yourself. That is agreed. You should upskill yourself, but not realizing you are better than what you were yesterday. It is a main focus on yourself. It's your journey. As Madhuri mentioned, it's your journey. Nobody's gonna spoon feed you everything. It's the spark within you which can lead you highest mountains, and you have to just start instead of procrastinating and focus what works best for you. For me, my passion worked best for me. I got to play with colors and make a tremendous beautiful visualizations, and also using the business strategy making skills, it helped me make good decisions out of it. So just be your own cheerleader. Don't wait for any justification and do your best in it. I hand over to Dawn.
Great answers to all of these questions. Our next one is, are there specific areas within data science or analytics where you see that are untapped opportunities for women? And I'm going to turn this over to Madhuri.
Thank you for bringing this question, Dawn. I always felt that women are underrepresented across all STEM fields, and I think data industry is no exception. I did research about it a bit, and according to 2022-2023 USA Diversity and Data Report, what they mentioned was that women hold only 26% of data and analytics jobs in the US, and right now in 2023, for every 4 male analysts and data scientists that join this industry, there are only 0.68% of women. And gender stats for data science is like 20.4% of female versus like 79.6% of data scientists are men. So this is definitely surprising. And I think the reasons behind this gender gap is that there are stereotypes and bias in some workplaces. They persist in the workplace, impacting women's confidence and opportunities for career advancement. So these stereotypes kind of discourage women from pursuing those sort of careers. And work-life balance. I think the demanding nature of data science roles can be perceived as barrier to achieving work-life balance, which may disproportionately affect women taking up this field. And one other thing is that educational gap. I still see that there are a lot of women who don't pursue STEM field as their career choices. And one other area is that when it comes to leadership, women are particularly underrepresented in leadership positions. According to the study by ASA, only about 18% of leadership roles are held by women. How do we address these issues? There may be a lot of women who are interested. They come in, but what they face is bias problems, as I mentioned, and they're not used to someone thinking differently and challenging the way they're thinking. This is an issue to consider if you want to be more in more inclusive places, and it's also important to recognize people from different backgrounds. And women lack a bit of confidence. I think they just need a little nudge, and like communities like this help together and empower women to achieve like what they want. And as I said, like I'll tie it back to the imposter syndrome. That's when you kind of need to focus on bringing women together and help them inspire more to pursue data analytics and data science fields. Yeah. Mm,
All
Thanks.
great points. Sakshi, would you like to also answer this question?
Yes. Thank you for this question, Dawn, and thank you, Madhuri, for like highlighting the gender trends in the bias that women sometimes face. My response is more towards what are some specific opportunities in the field that might go untapped for women, and based on the research, um, one of the data sets from the Association for Computing Special Interest Groups in Human Interaction showed that in 2020, only 31% of the HCI conference paper submissions had a female first author. So that I think indicates like a really huge gap in women leadership in that field. The second area is that's also coming up a lot with AI is the natural language processing. So, a 2022 study by Stanford University's Equality in AI and Language Technologies group revealed that while women contribute significantly to the research, only 23% of them had positions where they had some sort of a senior leadership position. So, that is, these statistics sort of highlight the potential for women to play a bigger role in the areas of data science. And I think they can also, like everyone said, leverage their communication, their language understanding skills, and even their empathetic skills towards making them stand out in the field. Um, and the last field that I would like to highlight is entrepreneurship in data science. So while data for this is not very technical, I think I saw a lot of evidence where women were underrepresented in data science startups. However, there are, I think, a lot of encouraging signs, such as organizations like Girl Boss and Anita Borg, and even the Grace Hopper Fellowship are specifically aimed to close the gender gap in entrepreneurship and women in data, which I think is incredibly exciting. So I would like personally encourage people to move forward in one of these areas where there's a lot of underrepresentation, and also sort of make their way out, like chart your own way in the areas that you are excited about. Yeah, thank you.
Great answers. Our last question is how can women in data become advocates for themselves and others in the workplace? And you've already have heard some answers to this, but I'm going to go ahead and ask Preeti if you would like to answer this question.
Thank you, Dawn. And I've been reading the chat. I've been keeping up with the chat and what Ria and Madhuri had said when it came from the question of imposter syndrome, right? Like, yes, everybody has imposter syndrome. The first thing that you have to do is to recognize what your imposter syndrome is. Because trust me, a couple of years ago, I didn't even know that there was a word for what I was feeling. Having met various women and having engaged with leaders, I realized, yes, there is a thing called imposter syndrome that exists. And as Madeline had pointed out in the chat, that the good thing about it is your leaders also have imposter syndrome. So it's not something to do with that you not knowing the job or you not being there 100%. The other thing that I do want to highlight is the confidence gap that exists in women. How many of you have not applied to a job because you didn't feel that you knew all the 100% of the job requirements that the job is asking for? I will raise my hand because that has happened. We tend to not apply to these jobs, and there are studies out there that point out that if you don't feel that you are giving 100% or you will be going to do that, that you tend not to apply. And that is how we miss on the opportunities of going to these leadership roles and bridging the gap. So actively have a conversation, think about what needs to be done so that you can bridge that gap and what is acceptable. One other thing that I would like to say for the experienced folks is think about being mentors, because everybody is looking for mentors, but also think about giving back to the society and to the conversations by serving as mentors, by demonstrating the confidence and the successes that you have achieved and navigated the career challenges. The more we share about this information, the more we will be able to educate folks. I want you all to inspire and empower the women, and please be advocates for your peers. If you see a community or a group that is marginalized within your workplace or within your craft, be that advocate, be that beacon of hope that you would love somebody else to be for you. So I think those are the couple of points that I have. I would like to pass it on to Hillary to hear more from her.
Yeah, Preeti, I think those are all fantastic. And I agree that a lot of these questions really do kind of center around advocacy for yourself and others. I mean, that's kind of why we're all here. is to create networks to kind of figure out, the next path forward for each of us. And I will say that data is so diverse in the places that you can go with it. Right, Tableau, it seems like we all kind of use, but there's so many directions and so many opportunities, and keeping your eye out for each of those opportunities. I like to talk a lot about working out loud, right? Tell people what you're working on, tell people what you're excited about. When you're kind of doing self-advocacy, just wait to be told no. Try things, be the solution. But one of the things that's really helped, because so much of business in these environments are data centric, but not data literate. And so really understanding how to communicate the work that you're doing to people who technically may not have that skill set and probably never will, may not be interested. Their eyes go kind of blank when they see SQL. Just kind of understanding how to tell that story and the power that it brings to you to explain your work in a meaningful way that isn't using kind of insider lingo is something that can really help you connect with people kind of outside of the data silo. And so I encourage everyone to kind of find ways to do that. And even when you're looking for mentors, maybe those mentors don't need to be in the data space, right? Maybe they need to be in other parts of the business. So you really can kind of like branch out and understand the downstream impact that your work is having. And you'll be better able to speak to that and help others. And then when we think about, advocacy for others, just start to think about, not closing doors as you walk through them, making sure that you're kind of holding those open for others and being aware of the gaps that exist. I know it's a very male-dominated industry, and for a variety of reasons, I've always ended up working for women, which has been a fantastic and rare, seemingly, circumstance for me in the data world. So I've been very fortunate in that way, and I don't take it for granted. So I think just kind of being aware of not gatekeeping and setting that precedent, if that's not already something that exists in your work environment, be the one to kind of gossip in a good way and share learnings, what's working, what's not. What do you know that people value within your organization, and how can other people tap into that? That's why we're here today, right? To share our learnings and hopefully go forward with that. So I'm excited that everyone showed up here today just to learn from each other, and I appreciate being part of the panel.
Thank you so much. So before we do the quiz, I just wanted to tell you that there's a news roundup, Tableau conference. A lot of us, I'm speaking, Preethi's speaking. I know Scott Eaton, who joined our session, he is speaking in Tableau at the Tableau conference. There is a discount code here. It's a great place to go in person because of networking, because of the relationships you will create, the people that you will meet. So it's a great experience. And another news roundup is there's Data+ movies out there. I always had a chance to, if you're really into movies, like we've heard some users into different things. So check that out. Google Data+ movies if you're curious. And then our next session will be May 23rd. We'll highlight some Tableau tips and tricks. There'll be a community spotlight on a person. And we'll also have talking about career, navigating your career through Tableau, tips on being your own advocate. And also we'll give you a chance to network. This time we kind of have a lot of content, but we're hoping to have the whole breakout room session next time. So I'm going to go ahead and stop recording the session so we can go ahead and play a game, and there will be prizes. So I'm going to turn it over to Krishma